Hello, I'm Sam with jbugs.com. In our last few videos, we removed the dashboard and cleaned out the trunk of our 1971 Super Beetle. We're just about ready to split the body from the pan, but before we do, we need to get the steering components removed from the body. We probably sound redundant, but save all the hardware until the car is reassembled. We start in the trunk and remove the lock bolt from the upper steering joint. Then we use a flat chisel and an adjustable wrench to open up the steering joint clamp, so we can remove the steering column. Inside the car, we use a rubber mallet to tap the steering column free and remove it from the car. Then we chock the rear wheels, jack up the front of the car, set it on jack stands, and remove the front wheels. At the front left side, we remove the speedometer cable clip from the grease cap and pull the cable from the car. We cut the top portion in our last video, so we're able to pull it free from the bottom. If you didn't cut your cable, the cable would have to be pulled out from the top side. We also pull the master cylinder wiring from the car and disconnect the brake fluid feed lines from the master cylinder. Up in the trunk, the metal brake fluid lines are pulled up and out of the car. Next, we pull the brake line clips at the front and unthread the brake hoses at either side from the metal brake lines. Back in the trunk, the upper strut mount nuts are removed and both strut assemblies are pushed out of the body. Towards the rear of the spare tire well, there's a large metal cap. It's pried out so we can access and remove the steering dampener bolt and disconnect the damper from the chassis. For safekeeping, we thread the bolt back in place and press the cap back in place into the body. Back to the front left side, the cotter pin for the center tie rod to the steering pitman arm is removed and the nut is loosened. We thread the nut back on a few threads, as we'll use it later when we remove the tie rod end. The steering dampener bolt is unthreaded from the pitman arm, and the damper is removed. Now we can try to remove the tie rod end, and after numerous hits to the pitman arm and the tie rod nut with a sledgehammer, it doesn't budge. So we spray some penetrating lube on the joint, and we'll come back to it in a moment. The same process is done at the right side where the center tie rod attaches to the idler arm. We'll note that a pickle fork is the ideal tool for removing the tie rods if you don't care about the rubber boots. We don't have any rubber boots to worry about, but we don't have a pickle fork either. Back at the left side, we hit the pitman arm and the nut again until finally the tie rod pops free. The nut's unthreaded and we can remove the tie rod end from the pitman arm. At the right side, we try again to get the tie rod to pop free with a sledgehammer, but still no luck. So, an assistant helps by prying up on the tie rod while we continue to hit the idler arm, and eventually the tie rod end pops free. Note that even with the pickle fork, sometimes these alternative methods will still be needed to free stubborn tie rods or ball joints. With the center tie rod disconnected, we remove the 3 bolts for the idler arm, and it drops free from the body. On the left side, the 3 bolts for the steering box are removed, and the steering box with the steering shaft are dropped out of the body. And we're finally ready to remove the body from the pan. That's going to be in our next video though. Thanks for watching. Make sure to click the like button below and hit subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, when you need parts for your vintage Volkswagen, head over to jbugs.com.